Welcome to this discussion on error correction. Error-free English seems to be a mirage to many non-native speakers or learners of English. There are two obstacles faced by non-native speakers while they try to learn English. First, the faulty learning system of English in elementary classes. No one seems to know what is to be taught and how it is to be taught. Often, the most fundamental aspects are ignored, and English learning becomes a monotonous, mechanical activity. Secondly, the mother tongue influence. Mother tongue is the first language we learn and its influence is strong. A non-native speaker's English is determined by his or her mother tongue. Our thought is based on our knowledge. Since we know the rules of our mother tongue, we tend to apply the same rules when we try to construct sentences in English. This is the root cause of all the errors we make while speaking or writing English. In order to speak or write English perfectly, we must have a detailed knowledge about various types of mistakes. Well, there are three categories of errors in English. They are grammatical errors, logical errors, and errors caused by mother tongue influence. A serious student of English should identify, understand, and overcome these errors. In the sessions Error Correction Part 1 and Error Correction Part 2 discussed here, we shall look at a larger set of errors and also look at errors in the context of complex sentences. The most common error in English is grammatical in nature. An in-depth knowledge in tense, subject-verb agreement, prepositions, passive-active voices, direct and indirect speeches, etc. is required to overcome such mistakes. In simple sentences, identifying mistakes may not be a grave problem. But when we encounter with complex sentences, identifying grammatical mistakes may not be that much easy. Let's see some examples. Look at this sentence given in the slide. In the sentence given in the slide, you can see two underlined words, has and lied. Has is in present tense and lied is in past tense. When we read this sentence carefully, we understand that the sentence expresses the nature or character of the subject he. Character or nature must be expressed in simple present tense. The word lie, hence used here, is wrong in two ways. First, it is a past tense verb, and secondly, its meaning is said false, which is not at all suitable in this context. So the right word is lies. Here the mistake is based on tense. Look at this sentence given in the slide. In the sentence E2, the mistake is based on subject-verb agreement. Look at the two underlined words. Here the subject is fees, which is plural. But the verb that follows it is singular, was. So, was must be substituted with its plural form, were. Now refer the three examples E3 to E5. In the third example, E3, you can see an underlined word in. It is a preposition and it is wrongly used here. A ship can sink in the water, but not in her maiden voyage. The right preposition is on. It should be the ship sank on her maiden voyage. If you read the fourth sentence, E4, with a little care, you can understand that it is a sentence in passive voice. The importance is given to the object, that is many songs, rather than the subject, many vocalists. But it is not properly written in the passive form. That is the mistake. Hence, we should add a been between have and sung to make it passive. A present perfect passive voice sentence will have a been after has or have. The last sentence, E5, is an indirect or a reported sentence. So obviously, it is in the past. Look at the underlined word, can. A sentence that indicates past action cannot carry words like does, do, has, have, am, is, are, will, can, may, shall, etc. So, can must be replaced with could. Look at sentences in this slide. They show some uncommon areas of errors. Take the first sentence and see the underlined word me. What is wrong with the pronoun me in this context? Well, we must know that there are subjective and objective pronouns. Some of the subjective pronouns are I, we, you, he, she, they, etc. They are called so because they act as subject in a sentence. Pronouns like me, us, him, her, and them are in objective case in a sentence. In the first sentence, the person intended by me is the doer of the action in the sentence. So, it must be in subjective case. Hence, me should be replaced with I. Subjective pronouns come before a verb, whereas objective pronouns come after a verb. Second sentence starts with myself. Myself is a reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronouns are used when a subject creates an action that reflects back onto the same subject. In this situation, both subject and object are the same. In the sentence mentioned, the action sells does not reflect back. So, it is incorrect to use the reflective pronoun myself in this sentence. It is also wrong to start a sentence with a reflexive pronoun. A reflexive pronoun comes only after a verb that reflects back onto the subject. So, instead of myself, we must use I am in the given sentence. Now refer the examples E8 to E10. In the sentence E8, the underlined word less, which is an adjective, is wrongly used. Why? Well, the adjective less indicates quantity, not number. Here the sentence expresses the number of the agitators. So, an adjective of number must be used here. And the right word is few. Since there is than in the sentence, the comparative form of the adjective must precede it. Therefore, replace less with fewer. Another area where we make mistakes is the use of adverbs. The adverbial forms must be used correctly. Many adverbs end with the suffix ly. Without this ly, they become adjectives. This is what happened in the sentence E9. Look at the underlined word wild. It is an adjective. It is preceded with a verb rocking. An adjective qualifies a noun, not a verb. Hence, the adverbial form of that word, that is wildly, must be used there to get the right meaning. Now look at a conjunction related error. In the sentence eaten, the underlined word till is the conjunction. Conjunctions are words that join two parts of a sentence. Now look at the nature of the sentence. It is negative in form. According to the grammatical rule, till is used in a positive sentence and until in a negative sentence. Until is also more formal than till. So in this particular sentence, till must be substituted with until. Look at this sentence given in the slide. The sentence given in the slide may look correct, but it has a mistake which cannot be ignored. The underlined expression resumed again is the mistake here. Why? Because the word resume means do something, for example, study or work after a break. So there is already a repetition of doing something inherent in the word resume. Hence, the word again is not at all required in that sentence. It must be removed to make it correct. Look at this sentence given in the slide. This sentence says that the tourist walked to the station. You can walk only on your feet. So walk on foot is a clumsy expression. To make the sentence good, we must remove the phrase on foot. Now let us discuss errors in complex sentences. A complex sentence is one that is made up of one main clause and one or more subordinate clauses. Please understand that a clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. There are two major types of clauses. They are the main clause or the independent clause and the subordinate clause or the dependent clause. An independent clause can stand alone as a sentence. A dependent clause cannot stand alone as a sentence. Instead, it must be attached to an independent clause. The examples E16 to E20 discussed here are all complex sentences. In a simple sentence, detecting error is easy. But in a complex sentence, the length of the sentence often makes it difficult to spot out the errors. Let us look at the examples. The underlined words in those sentences are grammatically wrong. Look at this sentence given in the slide. The ethical justification for economic development is that you need to consume in order to live. So to consume more than you strictly need in order to live well. The conjunction so is wrongly used here. You may overlook this error only if you read the sentence carelessly. The right word is conjunction and. So the sentence should be, The ethical justification for economic development is that you need to consume in order to live and to consume more than you strictly need in order to live well. Look at this sentence given in the slide. In this sentence, when is the wrongly used word. When indicates a particular point of time, but the verbs in the sentence are being reaped indicate that it is an ongoing activity. So a word that shows duration of time must be used. Hence, when should be replaced with while. Look at this sentence given in the slide. In this sentence, the mistake is in the usage of the pronoun him. You know, there are subjective, objective, and possessive pronouns. For example, he is subjective, him is objective, and his is possessive. Which one is apt here? Let us ask a question. What did the police commissioner insist on? Leaving the prohibited area. Who's leaving? His leaving. So the objective pronoun him must be replaced with the possessive pronoun his. Now read the two examples E19 and E20. The sentence E19 is a long one with 3 underlined words. The word coherent is an adjective, but it is preceded by a verb, talk. So the adverb form coherently must be used to get the right meaning. The second mistake in this sentence is in the form of drank. It is a simple tense-based error. Being is used in a passive voice sentence that expresses continuous action. In a passive sentence, the third form of the verb, that is past participle, must be used. Drank is the second form of drink, so replace it with the third form drunk. The whole sentence expresses past action. Will indicates future, so it should be changed into would. Now let us look at next example, E20. There we can see two underlined words, not and nothing. The use of the word not makes the sentence meaningless. The correct word to be used here is no. The word hardly is negative, so it should not be followed by negative expression like nothing. Two negative words in a sentence give it a positive meaning, so replace nothing with anything. So the correct sentence would be, it is indeed strange that professional psychology, medical no more than academic, has contributed hardly anything to our knowledge of the intimate or essential nature of love. What is syntax? Syntax means sentence building. A sentence is built with words. We know that sentence is a group of words that makes sense. If a group of words does not express a sensible idea, it cannot be called a sentence. So, arrangement of words has great importance in sentence creation. If the word order goes wrong, proper communication will not take place. Incorrect syntax can cause ambiguity, which results in confusion and miscommunication. So, even the minute aspect of a sentence must be taken very seriously. This is very important when we try to make complex sentences. The different clauses in a sentence must blend with one another harmoniously. The words which we use to create a sentence should be relevant and meaningful in the context. Remember, best words in the best order makes a perfect sentence. Sentences E21 to E24 have errors related to syntax. Let us learn some rules regarding syntax while correcting those wrong sentences. Look at this sentence given in the slide. In the sentence given, pronoun they is underlined. Does the sentence have clarity? No, because the pronoun has no antecedent in the sentence. If a pronoun is used in a sentence, there must be a noun of the same person and number before it. This noun is called the antecedent. Here the sentence does not give the antecedent of the pronoun they. We do not know who is this they. So the sentence must be rewritten like this. The members of the admission committee denied Karan admission to the technical school because they found that he had no required qualification. Now look at the sentence E22. What is wrong with the word trembled? Very often, when there is no regular adjective form for a verb, the present or past participle of the verb can be used as an adjective. Present participle is the ing form of a verb and past participle is the third form of the verb. The present participle or the ing form is used as an adjective when the noun it modifies performs or is responsible for an action. The past participle or the third form of the verb is used as an adjective when the noun it modifies is the receiver of the action. In the given sentence, the noun beggar performs the action trembling. So the use of the past participle tremble is wrong in this context. Hence, the present participle trembling must replace the word trembled in the sentence. Look at this sentence given in the slide. In the sentence, the erroneous part is to catch fish. Why? When information in a sentence is given in the form of a list or series, all components must be grammatically parallel or equal. That is, all components will be in the same part of speech. For example, if the first is an adjective, the rest must also be adjectives. In the given sentence, the first two components are nouns, numismatics and hunting. But the third is an infinitive verb, to catch fish. So it must also be in the noun form. Hence, to catch fish should be corrected to fishing. Look at this sentence given in the slide. This sentence shows a common problem that occurs when we construct sentences having two objects, the direct and the indirect. The direct object can be a person or a thing and is the first receiver of the action. The indirect object is an object to whom or for whom something is done. In the given sentence, rupees is the direct object because farmers owe the rupees, not the bank. So naturally, bank is the indirect object in this sentence. There are two ways of writing the objects without changing the meaning of the sentence. When we place an indirect object after the direct object, a preposition must precede the indirect object. But if we place the indirect object before the direct object, no preposition is required. Here the indirect object, bank, comes before the direct object, rupees. In such cases, preposition must not be used before the indirect object. We can correctly write this sentence in two ways without any change of meaning as follows. 1. Farmers owe the bank several lakh of rupees. 2. Farmers owe several lakh of rupees to the bank. In such structures, prepositions to and for are generally used. In this presentation, we looked at grammatical errors in English. As we mentioned in the beginning, the errors could also be logical errors or errors due to mother tongue influence. We have looked into those in the discussion Error Correction Part 2. Now take a short break, refresh yourself, and proceed to Part 2 of Error Correction. Thank you.